Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Amel from City Skin Clinic, and today I thought we would do something a little bit different. I don't really want this to be a ranty or negative channel, but I do want to use it as an opportunity to sort of dispel myths and anything that I think is sort of getting in the way of people making the right decisions. Today I want to talk about baby Botox because this is a topic that comes up every now and again. There are tons of articles about it, and I really want to sort of dispel some of the myths around Botox and baby Botox, because I don't think it's a very helpful term, and if anything, I think it's quite misleading. So before I continue, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so, and give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. So what is a baby Botox? Well, that's a really good question. A lot of, if you do a search of baby Botox, you'll find often articles talking about how baby Botox is a great way to enjoy Botox but have a natural looking result. There'll be articles that talk about it being, a slightly different dose, reduced dose of Botox, 50% less, 25% less, etc., etc. And even amongst some clinics and medics, they will have their definition of baby Botox, and it's very much sold and presented as a thing. And it's presented as something that, there's Botox, which is going to leave you frozen and terrible looking, and baby Botox, which is going to keep you refreshed. All of that, I think, is nonsense. I think, firstly, baby Botox is not, it's a marketing term. There is no clinical definition of baby Botox versus regular Botox. It's just a marketing term, and it's, fine for people, I'm okay with people using it to say they don't want to look overdone, etc. But, a lot of patients come in with a misconception that it's an entirely separate treatment. It's not. It's a marketing term. All that means is people aren't heavy-handed with the Botox. Some people will try and say, well, no, it's this many units, and no, it's not. And if anything, our clinic and our motto from the beginning has been that no two people should have the same Botox treatment, because you should really be tailoring every single treatment to each person's face, to each person's look, to their style, to their taste, to what their needs are. And that's how you always get a really beautiful and natural looking result. If you start to think, well, there's, do you want regular Botox or baby Botox? All that means is you're offering a, what you perceive to be a full dose of Botox for someone and less for another. And I honestly, most people will have different doses of Botox. That's what makes you unique. So someone may have stronger muscles in the forehead that require more Botox. Their muscles in the frown lines may be stronger or less, and that may require fewer units. Someone else may have a really small face and delicate features and very little in the way of sort of muscle strength, so they're just starting to have some early lines. They have a different dose. Some people really want to have absolutely no movement at all, and so they will require one, again, a different dose. And even between visits, people's Botox needs may change. So, we and all reputable clinics will keep detailed notes of what people require. And in those notes, you will say, okay, here is what we did last time. How did that go? The time before that, how did that go? This time, when we compare your muscle activity and examine you, how is this different to the previous times? Do you need more Botox than last time because actually it was, it was less smoothing? Do you need more? Do you need less Botox because you love the effect but the movement wasn't as much as you wanted? This is how you get a really good result of Botox every time, because you cater it and tailor it to that person. And people who get Botox regularly tend to need fewer units as the years go on, whereas people who get it every now and then, it's usually almost like starting from the beginning. And Botox lasts for different times in different people, so again, you factor that in when you are doing the treatment. So that's why I really hate that term, because I think everyone should have Botox that's done in a really beautiful and natural looking way that suits them. And within that, you're personalizing it. There's no room for gimmicky terms like baby Botox versus full-blown Botox. And the other thing that baby Botox does is it sets up an expectation that if you have this specific dose or this specific, then you will have movement here, there, everywhere, plus complete smooth and smooth foreheads or frown lines or whatever. That's also unrealistic. So one of the things we do as a trade-off to people is discuss with Botox. There is a trade-off between how much movement and how smooth it is. So for some people who want a completely smooth forehead and absolutely no movement, you would dose one way. If you want a smooth forehead, but you care more about movement, then you're going to have a forehead that's smooth, but not as smooth as if you had absolutely no movement. There is a gauge that you play with people. And again, you can, for us, most of our patients like that balance between a little bit movement so that they're not no frozen, no kind of hollow doll appearance, but again, still having a really nice smooth forehead or frown lines or around the eyes or wherever. And so you only get that if you take a personalized approach. And the other thing you also have to bear in mind is when you inject Botox somewhere, it'll change the areas around it. So if you're injecting Botox just around here, that is likely to make these muscles far more active in as time goes by, and you might get a sort of heavy looking brow and forehead area. So that's something that we discuss with patients as well. And if you only get Botox done around your eyes, then it may just look a little bit odd to have completely smooth around the eyes and then a lot of lines around here. None of that is bad, but it's again up to each person's expectation. And so again, having gimmicky terms like baby Botox does not help convey the importance of taking a really bespoke approach. Botox may be a treatment that involves a few injections, it doesn't take long to do, but it's the planning that matters the most. It's that eye, it's about looking at someone and establishing what do they need and what do they want, and how can you marry these two things so that they get a result that they'll love, and that also is in keeping with a really natural looking silhouette. So terms like a baby Botox, like I said, it's unhelpful. The other thing is it gives the idea that Botox itself is bad or it's unnatural or it looks terrible or there's something negative about it, and that's not true. Botox, when used correctly by a medically qualified person, so in our clinic we're all doctors, or if it's also, you have to take an approach that because it's a prescription product, it's a medication, you use it in the same way, so absolutely top safety. And you also look at patients and make sure that they are medically safe and appropriate to have the treatment. And in doing so, and in taking a really bespoke approach, you're not going to get a strange look. You're going to avoid many of the potential risks and side effects, and you're also going to give patients a really fantastic result every single time. And in all the years that my clinic's been running, we've had so many people come and have Botox and so happy with their results, because each of these people has had it tailored to them and their needs, and that's the point of satisfaction. And that's why we never ever use gimmicky terms like baby Botox, and we just think if you use this treatment correctly, and it's such a powerful, it's one of the most powerful tools that we have in terms of anti-aging. And just one quick note that I will say about Botox and baby Botox. I use the term Botox because Botox is the brand of botulinum toxin that we use. So Botox is a brand by Allergan, and it's the only product that we use. There are other things like Azalure, Dysport, Bocature, so these are different names for products, and these these are other brands of botulinum toxin, but there are places and clinics and people who will use the terms interchangeably. And to be honest, I also think that's another problem. I think Botox is a trade name, it's a brand of botulinum toxin, it's the most famous one, it's the first one, and as such we should limit it to using it correctly. And as far as I'm concerned, we should, baby Botox, no, we don't have to get rid of the term. I think it's cute. For some reason, it makes me think of babies being Botox, which is ridiculous. But it's a cute little term. And when I see patients use it, I generally sit down with them and ask what exactly they want and explain that this isn't, it's just a marketing term. But often what they mean is they just want to have smooth skin and look natural and maintain some movement, and that's absolutely what we always do. So I hope you found this video useful. I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a rant, but it is something that I just really wanted to get off my chest. If you have any questions about Botox or any aesthetic treatments, please leave a comment below. And I've left an article on our blog about baby Botox if you want a little bit more information, and also our Botox main pages as well if you want a little bit more background. Please don't forget to subscribe to this page if you're not already one of our subscribers, and give this video a thumbs up. And until then, next time, see you.